Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with another Cardfight Vanguard video. Today we'll be talking about overdress and just my thoughts on overdress. As a reminder, I am a very casual player now. I haven't played in a big tournament in 4 or 5 years, I think. Yeah, it's been a while, but I will be joining a big tournament in for the D format. Probably at middle of the month. It's separated into 2 parts. One of them is in the morning, one of them is in the afternoon, and then the finals is at night. So if I don't do well in the morning, which I think I won't do very well, I don't have a lot of practice. I'll be able to. If I do well, I'll be able to advance to the finals without playing the one in the afternoon. And if I don't do well, I'll play the one in the afternoon. And if I don't do well for that, then I'll just go home and cry. But you know, it's exciting. I haven't really played in a tournament in a long time, and I'm feeling very good about overdress. Like not as me as a player, but as a game in general. Just because overdress has been doing a lot of things right, and there are little nitpicks that I wish they could, not do, but we'll talk about all that a bit later. But let's just talk about the stuff that's doing well first. So merging all the clans into 5 nations is definitely a good idea. And the way they're starting up the new reboot is definitely very good. If you remember, back when the very first Vanguard came out, like the BT1, not the VBT1, there was only like 3 decks that you could really play. 3 or 4 decks. I guess you can play 4 decks, but not all of them really good. People just mainly played Kagero and Royal Paladins. And then for the very first set of the V era, it was mainly just Dragonic Empire and Oracle Think Tank. So there wasn't a lot of variety in the meta. What they're doing in this the D format is there's 10 decks you can play. Not all 10 of them are good, obviously, but there's a decent amount of decks topping. Like Brandgate topped. They're not the best, obviously. Keto Sanctuary is pretty good. They're topping. Dragon Empire has tops. I think like pretty much all. Dark States is also pretty good. So that's already like 4 decks that are not bad. And like even Dark States, there's 2 builds that are not bad. So overall, I think I'm feeling pretty good about the meta for the D era. Hopefully they'll keep working towards this route, because it's definitely more competitive for the game like this, and it makes people have a better, how do I say this? Let's just say a lot of people that have quit during the V era came back during the D era. And if you guys know, I only played the V era at the beginning for like 3 sets, I think, and I quit because I was just not really interested in the game, and a lot of friends felt the same. I came back in the late V era, I guess, which might have been a mistake, but overall it was pretty fun if you're playing casually like me. But the era is feeling good. There's a lot of reasons why it's feeling good. The ride deck is good, right? They introduced the ride deck, and so you won't get grade stuck, which was one of the problems that you might have faced in a tournament. And if you got grade stuck, you felt really bad. You felt really bad losing grades. It's like, oh, I could have played the game if I wasn't grade stuck. And the ride deck is definitely very good for that. The ride deck also makes deck building a lot more interesting. If you have a look at the Bastion build for Keto Sanctuary, you can see that there's like 20 something grade 3s in their deck, or even more if you're real crazy. And that's not something that would have ever happened if you were playing in a game without a ride deck, because you just wouldn't be able to ride the grade 3. So that's one thing. And deck building is also a lot more interesting now, because the deck ratios don't have to be so fixed now. You can run like 4 grade 2s in your deck, and it would still run perfectly fine, because you want to make more space for grade 3s or grade 2s, not grade 2s, grade 1s, whatever. It's nice. It's nice. And they also changed the shield values, which is something I'm Not too sure if it's the right thing to do. But it does make guarding a lot more interesting because there's no more 10k shields. There's only 5k and 15k. And there are some special cards that you can use to help you get more shield, like some cards that give shield value when you place them in Guardian Circle and you pay a cost or something. So that's kind of interesting. And there's also order cards, more Blitz order cards now that can give your Vanguard power, which is definitely very interesting. Like before, when orders were introduced in the V era, a lot of people are like, oh, what the heck do these do? They're not really super game changing. Like we had a couple of generic orders that were used in some decks, but not really all decks can utilize it. But now every nation has their specific orders that are, you know, helping to boost the deck, which is pretty good. And there's even you know, the Alchemagic deck is also pretty interesting. It's definitely something that Vanguard I just cracked. It's definitely something that Vanguard didn't really have before that really spices the game up. So the game is very, very spicy now, and I'm very, very excited to play in tournaments. Of course, I'm still working. I have jobs to do, so I don't really have a lot of time to play test. But I'm still gonna join the tournaments anyway, just to participate and show my support for the game, because you know, supporting the competitive scene is important if you want the game to survive. And I am feeling very good about overdress, so I want to, you know, support the game. And yeah, there's a lot of people that weren't going to play overdress, like, oh, Vanguard's getting rebooted again, now I'm not going to play this game. And then they saw the price. Oh, the pricing is also very important. I should probably structure the video more, but I'm just giving you all my thoughts right now. Yeah, pricing is very important. The game is very, very cheap to play now. Even if you're playing those really top tier decks, it's not that expensive. It's yeah, the pricing is looking pretty good. If you even if you build like the top decks like Catter Sanctuary, it's not super expensive. Your core is the trial deck, and then you have some double rares and triple rares in the main set, but they're only like 1,700 yen each, so like it's not going to cost you that much. It's 17 bucks for 4 of, and I don't think everything else is also really cheap. So building decks is really cheap, and if you're playing Dark States is just, the pricing for that is very, very cheap. I think I finished building my Dark States deck for like 30 bucks, and I had enough cards to build both Bag of Magnus and Final Rush. So that's 2 decks for 30 or 40 bucks. So that's pretty good, right? But yeah, overall, if you were worried about overdress, I think overdress is in pretty good hands right now. Hopefully, of course, this is just the beginning, but even their start is a lot better than what V was in the beginning. I mentioned this in my overdress introduction video. I thought, you know, I think they're having some good progress, and, you know, having some good ideas for the game. And after playing it for a month, or I think that's a month or 2, not 2, I don't think it's quite 2 months yet, but yeah, definitely a month. I'm having a lot of fun. And even the start decks were really fun to play. Like, I was playing start decks with my friends. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like, obviously you can't go full power, but you had a really, really good idea of what your deck did without just, because, you know, old school Vanguard, you just had your boss monster and a bunch of vanillas, and you're like, oh, is this how Vanguard's supposed to be played? But you're like, for the D era start decks, you're like, very interesting, very yeah, I'm saying this is very interesting in a while, but yeah, I'm just very, very excited. And I guess that's it for this video, guys. Is there anything else I want to say? I don't think so, but overall, I'm definitely gonna be playing for the, I ordered a case of Monster Strike. I don't know how good the decks will be, but I do like Monster Strike. I might mainly buy Monster Strike because my friend wants to get back into Vanguard and he loves Monster Strike. So I'm like, you know, I'll split a case with you. We'll pull those Lucifers together. So, you know, he's excited about it. I'm excited about it. You know, gonna get some SPs because SPs as buttons per box now, so that's also pretty good. Good job, Bushy Road. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Rambling on for long enough. I should probably edit some parts out, but if I don't, hope you guys enjoy my rambling. This is Cardtaku, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!